We were completely wrong. Again.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. The championship team is about each player being a perfect fit. Same with your vehicle. For parts that fit, check out eBay Guaranteed Fit at ebaymotors.com. Available to U.S. customers on eligible items only. Exclusions apply. And with me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, we were wrong. Again.
Is anybody surprised at this point? Are you new here? Yeah. Shocking. Hey, coming up later on in the show, we got to talk a little bit about Yankees catchers. Higashioka's starting to heat up a little bit. Let's talk about Sevy behind the plate as well. Made a big defensive play on Wednesday night. We need to talk about Yankees catching. Also, weird quotes about Aaron Judge's current injury. And yeah, we need to talk about that. We wanted to talk about it yesterday. We didn't have time. Let's talk about it today. First, Stacey, Cole versus Verlander. Wow, did that not disappoint?
Yeah, such a better matchup than the Scherzer Severino. Miles better. You know, they each had, Cole had a perfect game going for like the first 3 or 4, whatever innings it was. And they were just, matching, going inning for inning against each other. And both of them reached 6. Both of them only gave up a run. Neither of them surrendered any walks. Cole had 8 strikeouts. Verlander had 6, and Cole gave up 1 more hit than Verlander, 4-3. I mean, that's what you want from Cole and Verlander. It was, kind of annoying as a Yankee fan because you hear about Verlander giving up runs to other teams, and then he does what he normally does against the Yankees, and that's annoying. But Cole, great outing, no home runs.
Yeah, that's a couple in a row now. 6 innings, as you mentioned, 4 hits, 1 run allowed, ended up striking out 8. And for Gerrit, it was really just kind of came down to that final inning where he started kind of struggling a little bit. Did you agree with the move pulling him there after?
I did at the time, but then when things happened the way they happened, I thought maybe they could have gone longer. But I felt like he was losing it a bit there. So
Yeah, it was starting to slip away. That's for sure. Pitch count was starting to rise a little bit. But life on that fastball again. And we've talked about that 1,000 times this season. But bears repeating. It's when it's there, he's unhittable.
Yeah. And that was good to see. Like, hopefully, he's trending again in the right direction and can keep this up. And again, like I keep saying, it doesn't have to be April Cole. Would I love for him to be April Cole again? Yes, because the Yankees would be so much better with him being like that. But anything is better than May Cole. And so far, June Cole is better. So I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, June has been massive for him. Stace, there was, ended up being a 4-3 final, but I felt like a lot of these runs on Wednesday night were just like these massive moments.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of, let's flat out say it. The reason why we're saying we're wrong is because we were calling this series was going to be a dud.
Mm-hmm.
And it totally wasn't.
Yeah. 2 close games, 1 extra innings. And it's kind of funny. You didn't think the Yankees were going to win on Tuesday night, and the Mets probably shouldn't have won on Wednesday night. They flipped the script in both games. So it was very interesting, very close. And, one team wasn't exactly beating up on the other, because that's what I was kind of afraid of happening. I just figured, the Mets were scoring a little more than the Yankees were heading into this, even though they were losing games. They were still scoring more, and I was afraid that they were just going to beat up on the Yankees. So to come out of there with a split, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Tommy Pham with an RBI double in the 5th to open up the scoring. How about Jake Bauers? RBI single to tie it there in the 6th inning.
He is stepping it up, as we say. He's not like a world beater, but if you need a hit every once in a while, there he is in the thick of things. And good for him that he's taking advantage of this opportunity that he probably didn't think he was going to have, and especially not where he's taking Aaron Judge's place, technically. So good for him. The Donaldson scoring on the McNeil error, and then Okay.
The play. IKFs.
I'm going to take back every bad thing I've said about IKF in the past. I apologize, Isaiah Kiner Falefa. I feel really bad for that. I'm so sorry. That was amazing. First of all, who was up to bat when he stole the base?
Oh gosh, now you're really testing me.
Yeah,
I don't have it in front of me.
He almost got hit in the face, and then it was so bang bang. It was amazing, and that was such a smooth slide too. That was almost like a Trey Turner slide into home, like really just like, hey, I'm the man, doing that sort of thing. And the Yankees don't steal home often, at least not lately. It's been a good 7 years since they've done it, so it was kind of shocking to see that happen. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know everything that went into that. I imagine that was IKF reading
I think
that.
So, but he was like halfway down the line because when they showed it from above, they weren't even. He was basically like, "Hi, I'm here, hello," and it was amazing.
Yeah, going from the windup there, 99 times out of 100, no one cares. But if they're not going to hold him at all, it just gives him a massive opportunity. That's either him or Luis Rojas, obviously. That's going, hey, look. And then IKF looked and went, okay, I guess I'll just take it then, because you're not paying any attention to me. So that's just huge baseball IQ. And that's something that IKF last season, that kind of gets lost. He's a very smart baseball player. While the results weren't to everyone's liking last season, he's always been a smart baseball player. And that's just kind of showcased it right there. That made it 3-1 at one point. How about this hit by pitch with the bases juiced on Nimmo? I'm going to go ahead and say this.
Yeah.
He didn't reach out to get hit, but he sure didn't get out of the way.
Right. And you can do that. Right? I mean, they're not going to call you out for not moving out of the way. I mean, that's kind of smart.
You have to make an honest effort. And he very minusculely lifted his elbow. It wasn't egregious. Obviously, there are way worse cases.
Oh, yeah.
I think if they had called that one back, you couldn't really argue it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's funny because when I watch and I see guys move out of the way, like I sometimes joke, like, let the ball hit you. But why would you want to get hit with a ball? It doesn't feel good, and if you can move out of the way, you do. And if you can move out of the way without making it really look like you're moving out of the way, do what he did.
Yeah. Well, Nimmo got his comeuppance there immediately thereafter. RBI single from Starling Marte to tie the game. And he was, I don't know where he was going.
Oh, yeah.
He was halfway down the line to third. And Trevino completely spots him. I mean, I spotted him right away. I was like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Throw the ball.
Yeah.
And a nice job to get there to cover the bag and get that out at second. Reviewable. Yeah. It looked like, to me, it looked like he got the helmet before the finger touched the base. Obviously went to review and they said call stands. But then Nimmo, with his fingerprints all over this latter part of the game, of course, walks it off there in the 10th inning.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at this loss. It was a hard fought battle. It was winnable, but it wasn't egregiously lost.
Right. It was still annoying though, because, they wasted a couple doubles from guys who were heating up, Volpe and LeMahieu. And it's like, oh, come on. These guys are finally hitting extra bases, like after all this talk about them not doing well. And those two guys kind of stepped up in this series and, the guys behind them couldn't do anything. So that was kind of a bummer. But yeah, this isn't like that Guardians loss from last month. I'm not angry. I was actually kind of hoping it would end because it's late, and extra innings.
It was a long one. Well,
yeah.
It also started late.
Right. Rain delay. Yeah.
Canely looked nice there in the 8th inning. Good to see him. He's pitching well since returning from the injured list. Abreu with a nice 9th. He ended up facing one batter there in the 10th. The decision to go to Nick Ramirez. How are you feeling about that call? Obviously, in hindsight, doesn't look good, but at the moment.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. I guess maybe because guys pitch too much on Tuesday, but they have an off day tomorrow.
And they've had 2 this week.
Yeah.
On Monday.
Right. So I don't understand why you couldn't just go to your big guys again. I mean, I just, Boone sometimes makes decisions that are kind of annoying and weird, and they bite him in the butt, and they did in that instance. But again, I'm not that angry about this loss. It's not bad coming out of Citi Field with a split in the first half of the Subway Series.
Yeah, no kidding. One last thing I wanted to touch on, Stacey. Jeff McNeil getting called for the shift violation. What a game for Bill Miller behind home plate, huh?
Awful.
What was that call? That was a terrible call. I don't care if it benefits the Yankees or not. That's a terrible call.
No, that was awful. And we haven't seen that yet this year, right? I think this is the first time that this has happened for the Yankees. So when that happened, I thought, interesting. Yeah, he didn't really have a great game. And for some reason, both home plate umps this series didn't have a good time behind the plate.
Yeah.
And we'll all find out later on Thursday when we look at the umpire auditor Twitter account just how bad Bill Miller was behind the plate. But
yeah, he missed a couple of big calls. And this shift violation. Yikes, dude. I can't believe that was a call. I can't. What are you doing, man? That's bad. That's just bad. I
forgot it was a rule. Like, I forgot it was a thing that can happen because,
that's just not the spirit of it. That's not even what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
A half an inch. Like, what is this, offsides in the NFL? Like, what are we doing? Come on, man. That's a terrible call. Let us know how you're feeling about that call. That was, I mean, again, it benefited the Yankees. They get a ball out of it or whatever, but come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's slowing down the pace of this game now. And just like, what are we doing? Anyway, drop your questions while you're down there, by the way, in the comment section here on YouTube, because of course, tomorrow's Fan Mail Friday, your last chance to get your questions in here this week. Catch the Red Sox series. Of course, Yankees off on Thursday, but on Friday, start the weekend set. You can catch every pitch on Sirius XM. Coming up in a second, we got to talk about this weird Aaron Judge situation. Hey, this episode is brought to you by one of our newest sponsors, Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs is the best place to buy men's shorts and pants that come with a built-in liner. Full disclosure, Bird Dogs sent us a couple of pairs to all Locked On hosts, and I've been wearing them, and I've been liking them, and they're really comfortable. I think they look great, if I do say so myself. And they're cheaper than other reputable brands. I've looked. I'm always looking at things to buy because I can't stop myself. And but Bird Dogs continues to be cheaper than other brands of similar value. You can get some free stuff too. Locked On Yankees listeners can get some free stuff when you go to birddogs.com and use the promo code LockedOnMLB. They will throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti style tumbler with every single order. So again, that's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. And you know that promo code already, LockedOnMLB. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Hey, thanks so much for making us your first listen every day. To the everydayers out there, one, we have big news coming up next week. Big news. Stay tuned. Hit subscribe. But in the meantime, coming up on tomorrow's show, Richard Fitz, number 8 prospect in the Yankee system, is joining us to chat about how his season is going, how his off season was, and we get to know him a little bit more. And of course, also Fan Mail Friday. So drop your questions. It's a jam-packed Friday show. So make sure to hit subscribe, and that way you do not miss it. Stacey, this Aaron Judge situation. So it's been like 2 weeks since he slammed his toe into right field at Chavez Ravine.
Mm-hmm.
Judge is saying no timeline, no rush. Boone's like, I don't know, bro. What's going on with this situation? This feels very strange.
It is strange. I've never seen a team handle injuries this badly in recent years. The Yankees have just been so bad at it, either with not knowing guys' timelines, being completely wrong about injuries, with Boone constantly, oh, he'll be fine, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow, and then someone will miss 3 games, or, oh, he'll be fine, and he goes on the IL, that sort of thing. But the whole Boone thing, not knowing, like, oh, what? Why would you even admit that? Why would you say that? That just makes it look so odd to me. It's just, the whole thing is so weird, and I'm kind of annoyed now at this because it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing that they don't know what they're doing.
It would be one thing if it were, no offense, like Glaber or something. But when it's your captain and
Right.
your biggest star, I really don't get. I mean, we were talking yesterday on the Volpe comments, right? We haven't even had the conversation. Lie. But how that felt PR move,
Mm-hmm.
right? This feels whatever the opposite of a PR move
Right.
is. Like, come out with a clear message and say, look, even if it's not a nothing burger, which
Mm-hmm.
is, hey, we're waiting for the swelling to go down still. He's feeling better every day, but we don't have a timeline.
Yeah, just come out and say that. Don't say I don't know.
Yeah, don't be like, I don't know. And Judge is like, I don't really want to play. And it's like, what's going on, dude? So this is a quote here I'm pulling from the New York Post. This is what Judge had to say. Quote, I think it's all based on pain. It's a good sign that it's feeling better every single day. I don't think there's a need for a timeline. Stacey, how do you feel about I don't think there's a need for a timeline?
Well, of course there's a need for a timeline. We need to know. We need to know if he's going to be out for another 3 weeks or if he's going to come back next week and feel fine. Oh, my toe feels great. I'm going to be back next week. Because
obviously he's eligible to return at this point.
Yeah.
And but he seems nonplussed about it.
It's I keep saying weird, but it's weird. I don't like this at all. It makes me uncomfortable that they're just so nonchalant about this. And I know that it's mid-June. This can turn into oh my God, he's not coming back till July thing. And that's bad. They're playing some tough teams at the end of this month. They need Aaron Judge in the lineup. They can't continue like this without him. So something needs to happen. Either they need to put him on, or I guess continue to keep him on the IL, but at least tell us something. Give us a clue as to what's happening, because this isn't fair to us. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair to anyone to just sit there and be like, yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Again, it would be one thing if it were like some bullpen guy that, throws every 4 days, but it's a guy that's in the middle of your lineup every day.
That you just gave a really large extension to.
And who is playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like was already on pace to do the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
We have our corners of the internet that both you and I have to keep our eyes on. Of course, we know the rules around these parts on Locked On Yankees. Stacey keeps your eye on Twitter. I keep my eye on Reddit. And Reddit's pissed. I mean, I know, shocking.
That's
Reddit's
a shocking
mad
development.
about something. But Yankees Reddit was like, what's going on here? I got to imagine our YouTube comments here on this episode is going to be like, what's going on here? And I can't imagine Yankees Twitter is super stoked either.
Yeah, it's the whole just them being really
nonchalant.
It's the nonchalant thing. It's just annoying. Like this.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I don't know. My toe hurts.
Yeah,
and look, if it hurts, it hurts. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, take the time you need. Make sure he's right. Make sure he's okay. Make sure there's no further damage or that he's not going to hurt it anymore. Make sure he's okay and plays to this full potential. But it just seems like laissez-faire.
That yes.
I mean, he'll be back when he's back. Like, what? This is Aaron Judge you're talking about. This is the AL MVP front runner.
Yeah, this isn't, no offense, but this isn't like Jake Bowers. This isn't Willie Calhoun. This is Aaron Judge. You're paying him millions of dollars to be your captain. You wanted him back. He's the guy that keeps the team together. We've seen it since he got hurt, that this team, they'll luck into some wins, but for the most part, they're scratching and clawing for hits and runs without him in the lineup. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And for the fact for them to be like, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine.
Maybe they're just trying to hide behind Bader's close here in a second. He should be available this weekend, anticipated, because he had the rehab game on Wednesday with Somerset. So maybe they're trying to do that. I don't know. It's just very, very strange. I don't know if we're blowing it up too much. I'm sure we are, because either way, his status is the same.
Yeah.
It's just very off-putting.
Mm-hmm. That's what yes, exactly. I was looking for that word. My brain wasn't getting it because we're recording this late. You all know that. Off-putting is perfect.
Yeah, it's off-putting. Let us know in the comment section how you're feeling about this, because this is really weird, right? Like, you guys have to be feeling the same thing. It's just, again, this isn't some nobody. This is Aaron Judge, man. This is a reigning most valuable player. Anyway, let us know how you're feeling down in the comments. And of course, while you're there, your last chance to get questions in for Fan Mail Friday on tomorrow's episode. Also tomorrow, the Red Sox and Yankees square off yet again. We're back to this thing, playing every 4 days. But again, you can catch that on Sirius XM. Coming up next, we got to talk about Yankees catching. So stick around. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Stace, there were some plays. There was one big play defensively in the final game in Queens. That throwdown to second to nab Nimmo. Huge point of the game. Nice play by Trevino. We wanted to talk about the state of Yankees catching right now. Let's start with Trevino. How have you been feeling about Trevi?
I'm feeling better. He'll hit every once in a while now where he's not completely overmatched when he's up. I don't feel bad seeing him all the time because, there was that point where the Yankees weren't getting any production out of the catching position. And, he's not doing what he did last year, obviously, because he was an all-star at this point last year. But I feel like he's improving. I don't feel bad when I see him come to the plate, but I just wish he would get a little better. But that play was great. That was a really good play. It's good to see him do that because I feel like there have been a couple of times for him and Hickey where they haven't been able to nail runners at second or, even like when stolen bases are happening or anything like overrunning and things like that. So it's good to see them stepping up in that way.
Yeah, you mentioned Higashioka. His bat starting to come a little bit better around here in the month of June. 5 for 13 in a couple of games this month. Higgy offensively, how you feeling about that?
Much better because he was also, when we talked about how bad the bottom of the lineup was, those two guys were right in the thick of that badness when it was, we were dependent on the top of the lineup hitting because that's when Rizzo was hitting, when Judge was playing. And, the bottom of the lineup wasn't really doing much of anything. And to see, Higgy, when he plays a little more, he can hit and he can run into a ball and hit it out. And, when he gets going, he's a pretty good player. But, when you're the backup catcher, you don't get as many chances to perform at the plate. But, when he gets going and he gets on a roll, he's actually one of the better hitters on the team.
Ben Rortvedt is currently on the injured list, just as an aside. Bruised his wrist. He was placed on the injured list on Tuesday, so 7-day IL. So maybe next week he should return. So, only played a handful of games when he did get called up, but that's not really an option right now. Stace, do you think the Yankees might try and make an upgrade at the catcher position this season via trade?
I don't know I think they have more pressing needs than catcher. Would you agree? You would agree with that because you want them to get the left-handed reliever.
Well, they have him. When's Matt Crook going to pitch? Jeez,
yeah, well,
come on, guys.
That's true too. Yes, they do have Crookie. But
I
feel like
pitch, just put him back in Scranton and let him pitch there.
Yeah, I feel like catcher is not as pressing as other positions. I think they're fine with Higgy and Trevino for now. I think
they're definitely overall net negative behind the plate.
Yeah.
Right. There's no positivity offensively overall coming out of the catcher position. So
it also feels like, I say this about the relievers and stuff. Like, Yankee fans were used to having guys like Mo. You had Posada. I mean, Posada was a really good hitting catcher. He might not have been that great behind the plate, but he's a really good offensive catcher. And there are a lot of Yankee fans that their brains just keep thinking back to the past and they compare the guys now to those guys from the past. So I can see that driving Yankee fans into believing we need to, upgrade our catcher. But I feel like there are other pressing issues on the team.
Yeah, I mean, clearly left field, but I mean, all the outfield if Judge and Bader are going to be out all season here, apparently. But yeah, I still think, I think Crook can be a contributor, left-hander out of the pen.
If they use
the Yankees think otherwise. I don't know why. Just let the poor guy make his debut, for crying out loud. Just get that out of the way. Let him become official,
Yeah.
You're going to have to option him anyway, so you might as well just give him an inning. It's not like he's going to go out there and give up 15 runs. But yeah, obviously left field. I would like another left-handed reliever. But I mean, catcher's a close third, if not like a 1A, 2A.
Yeah. I would say that. I would say it's within the top 2.5 needs.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, they could upgrade.
Sure.
They could totally stand to upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody off the top of my head.
Right, me either. I'm trying to think of teams that they could
go
trade
get
with
JT Realmuto.
Yeah, right. Now that would be
well,
something.
Hey, there's a catcher who's not a catcher in St. Louis anymore, but also is a catcher, but also plays the outfield that you could always go after.
Contreras?
Contreras.
Oh man, what they've done to him this season, it's so unfair.
What they've done, period. Not just to him, period. What in the world?
But, blaming him for their pitchers' problems and stuff, and then saying, "Oh, we'll put him in the outfield." It's like, what? You signed him to be a catcher. What are you doing?
Just signed him like 3 months ago. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this is not Locked On Cardinals. Go check out Locked On Cardinals.
Yes.
They do a great job over there.
Yep.
But yeah, let us know. Do you think the Yankees need to upgrade at catcher? Let me know in the comment section here on YouTube, of course, as always. Drop your questions. One last chance to get them in for Fan Mail Friday. You can catch the Red Sox series on Sirius XM. That starts Friday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And, of course, back on ESPN on Sunday. Man, we're on ESPN a lot here. Over the last
back on Fox on Saturday as well. So
you only get Michael once.
Yeah.
Hey, coming up on Friday's show, make sure to hit that subscribe button because you're going to want to see this conversation we're going to have with Richard Fitts, number 8 prospect in the Yankee system. Great guy, super nice, and great conversation coming your way. That's coming up tomorrow. And again, also hit subscribe because we have a big announcement coming next week. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I promise. That's coming up next week. Make sure to hit subscribe and you don't miss it. And that's going to do it for today's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.